So I want to apologize for the last video that I did talking about Nikolas Cruz was lucky to be alive. You know, during that video, I was really emotional because I was thinking about my kids, you know, in this situation. But this guy, Nikolas Cruz, who is most likely his ethnicity is Hispanic, but he will be classified as white in the eyes of the dominant white society. This guy is definitely not lucky to be alive. He is required to be alive. You see guys like Dylan Roof, right? And all these psychopath, white identity extremist mass shooters that have happened in the most recent years. They're still alive, right? And they commit, white identity extremists are the true domestic terrorists. They're not Muslims or so-called Muslims or any other threat in what's known as Middle East, aka Asia Minor. No, they're people classified as white. These are the white identity extremists, domestic terrorists, white terrorists. That's what they are. And that's what they continue to be. So like I said, of course, this guy has mental issues because of his upbringing, but he is what he is. He is a psychopath, white identity extremist, mass shooter. That's who he is. And he was required to be taken into custody alive. Required. Bottom line. This guy was able to purchase a semi-automatic AR-15 February of last year. No problem at all. The so-called background check passed through with flying colors. And this guy has the history of mental issues with his household. Right? According to school records and public records regarding calls into 911 in Broward County, he has a plethora of these particular issues. And nobody picked up the red flags. Nobody picked up the signs and the social media posts whatsoever. But now that this guy is going to most likely get the death penalty and just be gone from the face of the earth, his public defender decides to say, hey, man, let the mainstream media bite this. This guy is a broken human being. Right? He's a broken human being, right? But compare that to Tamir Rice. Police thought 12-year-old Tamir Rice was 20 when they shot him. Tell that to Tamir Rice family, right? He was considered a grown man, 20 years old at the age of 12. Tell that to somebody like a psychopath, white identity extremist, George Zimmerman, who attacked Trayvon Martin and killed him because he, quote unquote, feared for his life over a child at that time, a teenager, right? But yet this guy right here, this psychopath, Neanderthal, white identity extremist, Nikolas Cruz, wants to have sympathy points by saying, hey, he's a broken human being. No, like I said, he's a psychopath, white identity extremist, mass shooter. And will get, now I'm not going to say deserve, he will get, he better get the death penalty. Bottom line. All right. So that's all I got, family. I just wanted to point that out there, man. This guy is who he is. He was arrested and taken alive into custody because it was required under the system of racism, white supremacy. He was required to be taken alive. This is all a product of social engineering to sympathize with these psychopath mass shooters like this guy here. But enough is enough. Ain't no more sympathy points because compared to other countries around the world, U.S. owns more firearms than any other country. We own nearly half of the firearms in the whole entire world. Of course, you have more guns, you have more people dying. Right? So you compare countries with the most guns, 89, right? As a percentage. And compared to the least countries, right? Tunisia, East Timor, Solomon Islands, right? So that's a pattern. It needs to change, obviously. But anyway, those are my quick thoughts on this particular social engineering tactic by Nikolas Cruz's public defender, talking about he's a broken human being. Pure trash. He is a reckless mass shooter who is a white identity extremist. That's who he is. Bottom line. All right, family, those are my quick thoughts on that. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. Until next time, family, Chauncey, a.k.a. the Black Separatist, signing out.